Hello, Year 6, and welcome back to Lesson 3 of our Cloud-Busting Destination Reader Sessions. Yesterday, we read Chapter 1, and we asked questions. Today, we're going to be doing more asking questions as we keep reading Chapter 2 and 3. Let's remember, any words you see in red, what are they in today's lesson? That's right, they are key words. How about those questions in blue? What are they? Yes, they're questions for you to answer. And remember, anything you see in green means you can pause the video and write down your answers on a piece of paper or in your home learning book. As always, before we get started, please make sure that you have a copy of the story Cloud Busting by Mallory Blackman, as well as a strategy prompt sheet, a pencil, a piece of paper, or your home learning book. If you don't have this already, please pause the video now to make sure you have everything you need. All right, let's go. Today we're starting with Chapter 2. Before we do that, let's remember, why do good readers ask questions? Pause the video and write down your answer. That's right, Year 6. Well done. Good readers ask questions as they read because it helps them to understand what's happening in the story. It also helps us stay interested. If we're asking questions, we're wanting to know more, which means that we're also wanting to read more. Remember that in Destination Reader, we ask questions, but we don't always answer them. We just need to remember that the purpose of those questions is to help our understanding and to help keep us interested. It's not actually to answer them. All right, Year 6, are you ready to start reading? Let's go. All right, our vocabulary busters today. Our first word, we'll do my turn, your turn again, is frayed. Well done. My turn, frayed. Awesome job. Frayed is an adjective. An adjective. Say out loud, what is an adjective? That's right, an adjective is a describing word. It describes a noun. Frayed means for something to be worn or unraveled at the edge. An old jumper may become frayed at the end of the sleeves or at the neck. Just means it's old. Our next word, my turn, anxious. Anxious. Good job. Anxious means to feel worried or nervous. Our next vocabulary word is a verb. What is a verb, Year 6? Well done. A verb is a doing word. It's an action. So today, our verb is escort. To escort someone means to accompany or to go with them, to keep them safe. And our last vocabulary word, another verb, is to rant. My turn, to rant. Well done. To rant means to speak or shout at length in an angry way. A teacher might rant if the class is misbehaving. But you all would never do that, Year 6, would you? All right, let's get started. Please turn to Chapter 2 on page 15. I will read, and you will follow along with your finger. At parts, I'll say, let's stop now, and we will ask some questions together. All right, let's read. Chapter 2. What's in a name? What's in a name? Not much. That's what the class idiot said after Davy's name was changed to Fizzy Feet. It happened in assembly, the second or third morning, after the long summer break, about 7 or 8 months ago. Maybe less, maybe more. It was a long time ago, but memories are longer. Davy sat in front of me. His light brown hair wasn't long enough to hide the frayed collar of his shirt. Let's stop here. I have a few questions. I wonder, who changed Davy's name? Did his name actually change? Or was it just a nickname? My other question is, why was his collar frayed? Year 6, pause the video here and try to create 2 questions using 2 different question words that you have about Chapter 2 so far. Off you go. Well done. Can you tell me, what are 5 different question words, Year 6? Well done. Remember, our question words that we can be using in our Asking Questions lesson today are who, what, where, when, or why. Let's keep reading. Flip the page, and we'll begin at the top of page 16. His navy blue school jumper had a small hole at the elbow. I shook my head and turned away. My mum would never let me leave home with holes at my elbows, no way. Davy was the new boy, full of uncertain smiles and anxious eyes, and not much else. My best friend Alex sat next to me, on my right, playing his Game Boy. And on my left, Alicia. Alicia, a name like April showers, dropping gently onto spring flowers. Not that I'll leave that in. The bit about Alicia when I hand this poem to Mr. Mackey. No way. Let's stop there. How does the narrator feel about Alicia? And why will he take this part out when he hands the poem in to Mr. Mackey? I wonder. Your turn, Year 6. Stop the video here and write down 2 of your own questions so far. Well done. Let's keep reading. Year 6, we are on the 3rd stanza, or the 3rd verse, on page 17. Mrs. Spencer the head was droning on, and on and on. I was sleeping with my eyes open when it happened, waking us all up. Davy jumped up, fell sideways, and started rubbing his legs, saying, "Fizzy feet! I've got fizzy feet!" We didn't have a clue what he was talking about. Mr. Mackey ran over to sort him out. "Dave, what's the matter? What's wrong? What's going on?" Mr. Mackey was all concern. "Fizzy feet! I've got fizzy feet!" Davy pulled off his shoes and rubbed his toes. What a pong! "What are you talking about?" Mr. Mackey began to frown. "What do you mean you've got pins and needles?" "Ow! Yes, that's what I said, sir. Fizzy feet." A moment's stunned silence. Then we all roared like we had a toothache. Let's stop here. I have a few questions. What does the narrator mean? They roared like they had a toothache? And why was everyone so stunned? What questions do you have, Year 6? Pause the video now and write down 2 questions that you have. Remember to use 2 different question words. Well done. All right, we are on page 19, the 3rd stanza or verse. Mr. Mackey ranted. Mr. Mackey raved. Mr. Mackey was not happy as he escorted Davy from the hall. Fizzy feet, dizzy fizzy feet, busy dizzy fizzy feet. What a dork! Davy never lived that down. The class bully wouldn't let him. What a dork! Davy hated the name Fizzy Feet, but what could he do about it? Not much. Nothing. The class bully wouldn't let him. All right, that's the end of chapter 2. Let's take a second and think about some questions we have. My questions are, who is the class bully? We know Davy is being bullied. We know Mr. Mackey is the teacher, but I wonder, who is the class bully? My other question is, why did Davy hate the name Fizzy Feet? Year 6. What are your questions that you have so far? Remember to use different question words. Pause the video now and make notes of your ideas. Well done. Remember, if you want to share your questions or ideas, you can email your teacher or you can write them on MyUSO for your teacher to see. Let's look at chapter 3. One of my favorite things about Cloudbusting Year 6 is the pictures at the beginning of each chapter. They're so helpful and they allow us as good readers to ask questions about what might happen and make predictions as we read. Because remember, good readers make predictions throughout the story. Let's read Chapter 3. Facing the Truth with Haikus. Mr. Mackey said, "Today, you lucky people, we're doing haikus." "What's one of them, sir?" "Poems to stir the senses, plus they're very short." "A mere 3 lines long, just 17 syllables. Simple pimple, right?" 3 lines made up of words which are 5 syllables, then 7, then 5. "Haikus," Alex groaned. "What a waste of time and space. I didn't think so." "Japanese poems. Haikus," sighed Mr. Mackey, "a pure-paced rhythm." "But, sir," said Alex, "haikus mean lots of counting. That's not fair, that's maths." "Haikus are art, child, full of heart, soul, and passion. So let your mind soar." "To where, and for what?" "To the stars and beyond, child." "And when I land, sir?" Mr. Mackey frowned, scratched his head, and frowned some more. "You'll have memories." "Big deal," Alex scoffed, and that was the end of that. Haikus bit the dust. A haiku for Davy. "We should have been friends, but the bad thing that happened to you changed my life." Let's stop there, Year 6. My questions are, what happened to Davy? My other question is, how and why did this bad thing change the narrator's life? I want you to pause the video now and write down 3 questions you have about Chapter 3. Off you go. Well done. All right, Year 6, that is the end of our reading for today. Now, I have a quick challenge for you to do when our lesson finishes. You could try writing a haiku poem about someone that you know. Every verse of Chapter 3 is a haiku poem. Line 1 has 5 syllables. Line 2 has 7 syllables. And line 3 has 5 syllables. 17 syllables in all. A nice short poem. Give it a try, Year 6. And I can't wait for our next lesson again tomorrow. See you then.